sure the pound cake is fresh.
My cakes are always fresh, Sanders.
Fresh is a relative term.
I'm sorry, did you say something, Sanders?
Only to myself, sir. I was only talking to myself.
That comes from working for Edwin Randolph too long.
Very likely, sir. Very likely.
Why don't you say it? He was mad as a March hare.
You know, there are those who say he was...
Mad as a marcher, if I may be so bold.
You won't get any argument from me. Anyone who hung in the attic with baths for relaxation didn't have both oars in the water.
Haven't they got started yet? What's taking so long?
We've got things to be done. An ambiance to be created.
A will to be read.
Should I lay another log, sir?
No, Saunders, I don't think that'll be necessary.
Very good, sir. Then I shall seek to the coffee.
Every 20 years or so, someone in this family dies, and they read a will. You'd think they'd be able to do it by now without all this rigmarole.
It's ambiance. You need ambiance in this kind of situation. It gives the comforting news to the grieving relative.
What grieving relatives? This family's never grieved. They've been grabbing, stealing, and murdering each other for 100 years. They don't need ambiance. They need a cage.
We were exactly bound by family ties either, dear.
I only murdered you for the inheritance. It was nothing personal.
I know that, dear.
Be careful. He'll see you.
I'm a ghost. I can't see ghosts.
He can see pieces of paper floating in the air, so put them down.
They'll be coming soon. I want to get my hair before they start.
What on earth for? No one can see you.
It's the principle of the thing, Disney. We're representing generations and generations of deceased relatives. Come on, I want you to change into something more presentable. Perhaps your dog gray morning coat. I always like to do that.
Judith, this is absurd.
No, dear, it's tradition.
Will you be needing anything else, sir?
Just coffee, thank you.
Let me take your phone this time.
Thank you, Sanders.
May I offer my sincere condolences on your uncle's death?
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes, isn't it? One minute you're alive with millions of dollars, and the next you're not. My brother and his wife will be right in.
Ah, yes, well, that'll be fine then. We can start as soon as they...
How long does it take cobwebs to get that big? Foolish, isn't it?
Excuse me,
It's
I'm...
like a Charles Adams cartoon. So is Uncle Edward.
Excuse me, I'm Seymour Mead.
Where's Jason?
I'm
Probably
Edward
in between
Randolph.
Silver.
Lawyer!
What?
I'm the lawyer.
Oh, good. Let's get on with it then.
Now shall we commence the reading of the will?
I have the strangest feeling we're being watched.
He did what?
I don't believe it. Give me that. He said he was crazy.
They don't let crazy people write wills.
He did. He let a crazy man write him with our inheritance.
Edwin Randolph was of sound mind when he wrote this.
He hung in the attic with Beth.
Nevertheless,
We'll contest it.
it'll tie up the estate and probate for years.
There's got to be a loophole. You're a lawyer. Find it. Maybe you read it wrong. Here, read it again.
I'm sure you misread
Maybe
it.
you missed the codicil.
That was being of sound mind,
Not the whole
between-
thing.
Just start at the part where he went a little nuts.
I beg your pardon, but since we were mentioned in the first part, may Mrs. Jessel and I assume then that the small inheritance to her left will not be contested?
Small?
But in comparison, madam, merely in comparison.
I'm afraid the codicil is contingent upon everything.
Well, but we all know how concerned you are with our well-being, but please be assured that if the tax-free $35,000 I shall receive each year and Sanders' $50,000 is not contested, then it will no doubt see to our simple needs until we die.
Which could be very soon.
Mr. Randolph was a thoughtful man,
A good man.
A fine man.
a kind man.
A dead man.
Ah, yes. Well, that too.
Now, if we can get on with this.
Certainly. Reading again the paragraph in question,
In contention?
so at last we can look at the full
Good,
perspective of...
great. Anything, me, just read it.
Yes, certainly. We left off here. To my firstborn blood relative, my heir, my brother's only son...
Get on with it.
Well, then we'll just skip this little
Yes,
section
skip.
here. To Jason Randolph and his sister Kaya Randolph, I leave my entire art collection, consisting of 3 Degas, 2 Picassos, 4 Chagall sketches, 2 Keys, 1 Delvaux, and a Rodin bronze. And to my nephew's lovely wife, Barbara, I leave my entire estate, all its contents, my stock portfolio, and $20 million.
What? I didn't hear that before.
He was a good man.
A fine man.
Stop that. Are you saying that my uncle? My uncle left everything to my wife, who he only saw once, come across the room at the wake of a cousin he didn't know? My wife gets everything?
Of course not. You and your sister share equally in his art collection, which according to its last appraisal, has considerable value.
Would have considerable value if it could be sold, which it can't. Each of those paintings is on permanent loan at the L.A. County Museum, and the Rodin is at the Getty.
The Delvaux is in the Art Institute of Chicago's collection.
Great.
Is that the one with the women who look like the Stepford wives?
Paul Delvaux's Village of the Mermaids is a well-valued work of art.
And an equally well-guarded one.
You do own it.
Oh, that's like owning a La Brea tar pits. Priceless, but immovable.
Your uncle gave the lion's share of his wealth to your wife, and it's not exactly as if she's a stranger. You'll share in it equally, I assume.
Of course, dear Kaya, equally of course.
Now, with the will read and viewed in proper perspective, this again is the codicil. All bequests shall be nullified if the deed to the estate is not found within 24 hours from now.
I still can't believe he lost it.
He didn't lose it, he hid it.
He what?
He hid it.
Hid it? He said he hid it. You said he hid it.
That's right.
That's crazy.
Now do you see what I mean?
There has to be a way around all this. Your bank must have a copy. Everyone keeps copies.
No copy.
What do you mean, no copy? There's a Xerox machine in your lobby. All you have to do is push the button.
There's no copy because your uncle didn't trust banks.
Then where did he keep all his money?
Or with the deed.
What are you saying?
I know what he's saying.
Well, he can't be saying that.
I'm afraid I am.
Everything? 20 million of everything?
Including certificate of ownership for all his paintings, antiques,
He
stocks.
was crazy.
I strongly advise you not to make that claim. It could negate the entire will.
What if we don't find this in 24 hours?
Then it becomes the sole, the state of California becomes the sole beneficiary.
Well, if we do find it, no one will be able to contest it?
Exactly.
Where's my money? I want my money!
Our money!
You've not plugged into me! I was the first forward! What Sanders.
Miss Kaya is correct.
What are you talking about?
It is our money.
Our money, if I may add, is what's missing.
What do you all mean by our?
Will everyone stop saying that word? Wait a minute. No one draws up a deed without recording it. There has to be a record somewhere.
Right, problem solved.
Except, madam, for those of us who are left merely money.
Which, if I may add again, is still missing and it can't be copied.
Oh my God, I forgot about my money. Our money. We can't forget about the money.
To be sure, madam.
Okay, first things first. We'll get a copy of the deed and then
I'm
we'll...
afraid the problem is a little bit more intricate than you realize, Mrs. Randolph.
There's more? I could have bet on that.
You see, the estate lies on a Spanish land grant.
On Catalina Island?
Santa Catalina Island, yes.
I'm not buying this.
If you remember, California was settled with a number of Spanish land grants.
In the Santa Clara Valley, yes. In San Diego, yes. But not offshore. Not 26 miles into the Pacific Ocean. And not under my estate. Oh,
I'm afraid it's so. As a matter of fact, the grant covers the entire island. So if you find it, you'll own all of Catalina Island.
That's going to come as quite a surprise to the Wrigleys. They think they own it. Wait a minute. How can they own it if we have the grant?
we don't have the grant.
But we will have the grant. Once we find it, why didn't someone in this family claim the island before?
Because your uncle only found the grant himself a month ago.
I'm not buying this.
And if you remember, the Spanish settlement of California occurred in 1773. So that makes the Wrigley purchase a relatively new claim, so to speak.
One that could be overthrown in our favor?
Certainly. But without the grant,
We have no claim
But if we find it,
in 24 hours.
it's yours.
Ours.
No one's if it's not found.
Well, then let's get started.
started. How's your eyesight, Sanders? Up to reading microfilm? And how's your Spanish, dear? Mrs. Jessel, do you know what a land grant looks like? When's the last time you saw one? Where's the last one you saw? Start where with whom?
All right. So we're not exactly who you handpicked for the job, but we're all we've got. And we can't just sit here and do nothing.
Well, what do you suggest? A Ouija board? A full-blown seance with floating horns, drafts through closed windows, a voice calling from the other side. You've got 24 hours.
We have got to do something.
That's a great suggestion. I've got it. We'll strip the house. There's enough in the rugs alone to give us all a comfortable nest egg.
Well, these are all antiques. And all those little statues in the glass cabinets out in the hallway, you never let anyone touch them. They've got to be worth something.
Carving knives or silver.
And the copy, sir.
And if any of this is signed,
And the first editions are,
All part of the estate.
which sits on a Spanish land grant.
that no one is going to believe.
Without the grant.
Exactly. Oh, if I may be so bold.
What are we driving ourselves crazy for? It's so simple. All we have to do is get to the Hall of Records in Los Angeles. They have to have it on the book. Then we take our time, look for the money, the actual copy of the deed, and all the certificates.
Okay, Meade, how about that?
I'm afraid not.
For God's sakes, why?
You can't leave the island.
What?
It's one of the conditions of the will.
Why?
Edwin Randolph was a mystery fan. You know, Christie, Poe, Doyle, Simenon. She thought it'd be humorous if we
Humorous? Locked in a spook house, tearing up floorboards, shifting rooms no one's been in for years, finding God knows what in dark corners all covered in cobwebs.
Hey, little Indians, huh?
A Reader's Digest version.
What are you two thinking?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
I know you better than that.
Now, Mr. Randolph, if you're planning to reenact the story with all those murders, I should tell you
I
that...
really must leave before all the fun begins. So sorry. Maybe I shall miss all the excitement.
If you'd be so kind as to mail us our check each
I'm
year.
sorry, but everyone must remain here. The conditions of the will are very specific on this point. Stay and you inherit, leave and you don't.
I'm willing to stay anywhere for $20 million. What's the worst that could happen out here? Stranded tourists raiding the refrigerator, sunburned surfers banging on the door demanding our cash of copper tunnels.
Bats in the attic, snakes, a skeleton or two unearthed behind the paneling, a decapitated head rolling down the staircase like hush hush, sweet Charlotte. And in the morning, we'll all be as mad as Betty Davis. They'll come and get us, just like they did for her.
If something happens, we can always call the cops.
The telephone has been disconnected, and no one will be able to get in through the electrified fence for 24 hours.
Or out.
We're prisoners. It's only for 24 hours. That's almost $1 million an hour.
I trust you will be joining us in the treasure hunt.
If you all insist.
I thought the executor was to remain neutral.
I am.
But an extra set of eyes could only help.
He has a point, sir.
And if I find it, you might perhaps consider giving me
A piece of the action?
well, I was going to call it a finder's fee.
Well, this way we can keep an eye on it.
And each other.
I certainly hope you don't
I
think
certainly do. I think all of us would.
Including yourself, dear.
What's mine is yours.
Ours.
Quoth the raven, nevermore.
We're not going at this right. We need a plan.
We had a plan. Yours?
All right, so it wasn't the best plan.
Throw it all on the floor and crawl around on it? That's what you call a plan?
You come up with something better.
Nevermore. Nevermore.
Will someone shut that damn bird up? Whoever heard of a bird-coated pole?
It's a raven, sir.
I can see that.
Well, what did you expect it to quote? Byron, she walks in beauty like a night, with cloudless climb, starry sky. It's a raven, for God's sakes!
You're as crazy as he is.
Nevermore. Nevermore. And the raven never flitting till it's sitting, till it's sitting.
I'm gonna kill it.
You can't touch it.
Oh,
Part of
look
the
at that!
estate.
Look, is it? The grant, is it? My God, have we got it?
Some sort of pole.
Is it?
Doesn't make any sense.
And what we're doing here does?
Perhaps it's a clue.
He's probably right. If Uncle Edward was loony enough to set this up in the first place, he probably left clues. All right, read it, but I think it's a waste of time.
Whose was it? His who is gone. Who shall have it? He who will come. Where was the shadow? Under the elm. How was it stepped? North by 10 and by 10, east by 5 and by 5, south by 2 and by 2, west by 1 and by 1, and so under. Sounds like a clue to you? That sounds like gibberish to me.
Oh,
one of his favorites. He even had a first edition of it. He read it out loud to me on several occasions.
What?
That's right. It's the Musgrave ritual, of course, Sanders.
A Sherlock Holmes story, sir, where a crown was buried and not found again for centuries.
I remember. He read it to me too. And the maid and the butler tried to steal it. The maid disappeared, and the butler was walled up alive under a large stone. Well, that was just a story. And no one's going to wall up anyone here, are they? Of course not. And the butler isn't going to try and steal it, is he?
Certainly not.
And you're not going anywhere, are you?
Oh, of course not, Madam.
Well, it might be a clue. And if it is, and we follow the ritual, we'll end up with a crown and a dead butler.
Madam!
Sorry, Sanders, I was just supposing.
Well, I don't know about the crown, but we might find the grant. And unless you have a better plan, I'd say we go with the story.
As long as there's no dead wives in it.
Not yet.
Funny. Fight later. We've only got 20 hours left.
19 hours and 47 minutes until a representative from the bank is here to seal the estate if the deed is not found.
Okay, let's get started. First thing you do is find a copy of that story.
May I suggest that Mr. and Mrs. Randolph go outside and measure the ritual as the shadow, as the ritual suggests, while the rest of us search for the book in here.
I think we should all stay together. I admit, my trust doesn't run all that deep either. But if we don't get a move on it, no one's going to have anything to steal from anyone. And what if the story doesn't match up? What then?
I'm afraid the ritual as it now stands doesn't match up. There are no elms anywhere on the estate.
Well, that's the ballgame.
But there are 2 trees outside the study, a pepper and a sycamore.
But if we're following the ritual, it has to be an elm. Well, we're not. Anyway, if we did, all we'd end up with is a buried crown. And the dead butler. I was just helping to make a point, Sanders.
Come on, let's go measure a shadow.
I think there's a long tape measure out in the shed and a ball at one.
No, I think I should stay.
Why? He's here to watch everyone.
And who's going to watch him?
I trust him more than I trust you.
Thank you, Mr. Randolph.
Well, I don't trust either of you.
Come on, let's get going.
All right, but fast. Let's get on with this. Mr. Reed, what we're looking for is a thin, brown leather-bound book with gold lettering, about this big, okay?
I'll check the one still in the mail.
I'll check this pile here.
And I'll work over here and try to work my way back over to see.
Good.
I think I've got it.
Oh, let me see that. McGreef and the Headless Corpse. This is Simonon, not Doyle.
Sorry.
It's all right, Reed. It's going to be a long hunt. What are you doing with all the books on the floor?
Looking for it the way we did, dear.
Rather like a rite of passage, wouldn't you say?
More like a waste of time, I'd say.
You've just gotten the thrill of the hunt.
I remember after all the poisoning and bludgeoning we did to each other, none of us found the ghastly money.
Do you think they will?
I hope so. I'm very tired of living behind the paneling.
I just remembered. Uncle kept books on his bedside table. You keep checking down here, and I'll go check out the bedroom. Very well. She finds the method ends, and we can rest at last.
Yeah.
Oh, Ridgely, ever the pessimist. You have no faith left. You've lost all your enthusiasm.
Yes, dear.
Maybe we could.
No, dear.
Since we know all the places not, we could at least give them hints.
It's not allowed.
We did it so no one knew.
No.
They do find it, and you and I can rest. Up there, together. Now, isn't that what we talk about all the time? What it's going to be like when someone finally finds the money?
But if anyone up there finds out that we helped them, then we'd be stuck down here forever. And forever is a very long time to live behind the paneling.
What do we have to lose? So far, in 9 years, no one's ever come close.
You're wrong.
Who? Who came close? I don't remember anyone ever coming closer than we did.
In 1923, Dickie Randolph came close. Before his brother murdered him.
But that's the problem. Anytime someone comes close, bang, and it's over, and we're back behind the paneling again. We don't let one sense of relative to hand. We'll be behind the paneling forever. Do you hear me? Forever.
I hear you forever. Forever. Oh, Lord, behind the paneling forever.
It's just a little hint.
We might be able to get away with it. We're very careful.
Wonderful.
They might hear you.
They can't hear ghosts.
Not them. Them.
It's just that I'm so very excited finally to be getting out.
Only if they find the money. And no one's found it in 90 years. And this set only has 24 hours. I'd call that a long shot, wouldn't you?
Do you realize how many ghosts of how many past generations are crammed in behind the paneling, waiting for someone to find the money? If your sister was here, we'd have more of a chance.
You have to be murdered in a house upon it. Murdering someone else in it doesn't count.
She should have thought of that before she let the state execute her for murdering you.
It's hard to plan those things in advance.
Can't you do anything?
What do you want me to do? Ghosts can't conjure up other ghosts.
Well, I don't see why not. We do have the inside tracks, so to speak.
And even if we do, I wouldn't know how to do it. I was an accountant here, not a psychic.
Can you try?
I didn't say I would.
Oh, Ridgely,
And I didn't say I could either.
please try to conjure up Stacy. No one else behind the paneling ever wants to help. They're content to wander back and forth, rattle a few chains now and then and play cards. Try in the direction of the jail. That was the last place she was.
All right, I'll try.
No, that won't do it all. Point yourself that way.
Do you see her yet? Has she materialized yet? Any ectoplasm floating around?
You be serious. This won't work unless you're serious.
I am serious.
Remember how cold it was behind the paneling? Well, you've had a cold since you died. Do you want to sniffle your way through eternity?
Cece, are you out there? Knock if you hear me.
Me?
Sorry. That was the master's favorite bookend.
I thought.
As did I.
Keep trying.
Judith, it's not all that easy.
Remember the drafts here.
Cece, Cece, we summon you. Cece, Cece, come to us. Not 3 times if you're out there.
You did it!
I did, didn't I?
Why does she keep knocking?
No, this is my first conjuring.
You must not have said it right. Here, let me try. Cece, Cece, are you out there? Knock if you're out there.
I got that far myself.
I had to establish contact.
Now see what you can do about getting her materialized as one goes to another.
I was just getting to it. Cece, Cece, it's Judith. Come here to me. I don't know what's wrong.
I do. She's lost behind the paneling. It happens to me all the time. Cece, can you hear me? Cut out the knock, Cece, and answer.
That's Cece, all right.
Come towards my voice, Cece. Follow my voice. Are you all right? I found it out here the last time I went through all this. I thought I might give it a try.
Oh, those are very treacherous passages back there. Who are those people out there playing cards? What's all this mess doing here?
What does it remind you of?
Not again.
But this time it's worse. This time they've lost the land grant and they only have 24 hours to find it.
Oh, no.
You've got to help us help them find it.
That wasn't allowed.
Hey, don't know about
Isn't that a bit dangerous? I mean, if they get mad, we could end up down here forever, or worse.
We're desperate. Living behind the paneling has been terrible. What with Ridgely's constant sniffle.
Well, it hasn't exactly been a bed of roses haunting the jail either. They shut off the heat at 10 o'clock. There's no air conditioning. And the food, I don't know how to describe it.
You're a ghost. Ghosts don't eat.
I know that, but if I did eat, I wouldn't eat that.
Can we get back to the problem at hand? We do have less than 20 hours to solve it.
They're going at it the same way we did. Throw it all on the floor and crawl around it. These three don't resemble the family very much. Were they adopted?
They're not the family.
The one over here in the three-piece suit
And the 10 thumbs is the lawyer.
The one over here dusting off his foot is the butler. The other is the housekeeper.
Well, what happened to the family? Didn't they get left anything? I don't know how I feel about helping strangers get it. I mean, after all these years.
The family's running around looking for clues while these three clean up their mess.
Do you think we can get away with it?
We're very careful. No one finds out we're helping them. Either them or them.
Oh, what the hell? It'd be fun to have another try at it. You know, I really think I came close last time.
First, we need to find it. Point out where we know it isn't. Since we know it's not outside, Ridgely and I'll try to coax our great-great-grandson and be right back inside. Right now, they're trampling around in the weeds, doing who knows what with a ball of twine.
You stay here and help these three clean up the mess. But be careful, they don't know you're helping.
They won't notice a thing.
What's going on?
Were you attacked? Someone broke in. I knew something like this would happen.
For God's sake, what's going on?
What's wrong with your head?
Sanders, answer me. What's going on?
Look, a book, by itself, up and across, no one there, onto the shelf. Saw it, they painted, couldn't, tried, called you. Yes.
Makes sense, man.
Someone broke in. I'm sure of it.
No, floating book.
This is getting us nowhere.
I saw. Sanders, did you see it?
What's going on?
Anyone have any smelling salts? We've still got one down here. Sanders, give me that scotch. Hand it over. I need it more than you do. A bit early, isn't it? Even for you? It's Mrs. Jessel. Oh, there. Get to the church. She's coming around.
Mrs. Jessel, dear Mrs. Jessel, tell us what happened. Pour the whole damn thing down her. Mrs. Jessel, very slowly. Tell us what happened without fainting.
Do try, Mrs. Jessel. We're not doing too well getting out of Sanders or Mr. Meade.
Well, look, it rose up from there, and it floated across the room, and it put itself back right on the shelf.
Is there any more of that scotch?
Are we supposed to believe that the house is haunted? Well, I'm not buying it. It's a trick, sent to scare us off. And I'm not being scared off by some cheap lying book trick. Are you listening? No way. What happened to my sister-in-law, who was afraid of bats in the hallway and skeletons in the closets? I've reconsidered. You've recounted the assets. It's a matter of principle. As in capital.
Ladies. Now, you saw a floating book.
Yes. Was it a big book or a little book?
Will you keep out of this?
It might be a clue.
It is haunted, you know, the house.
Don't tell me you believe those stories.
Oh, yes, sir. You haven't lived here. You haven't heard the sounds behind the paneling, especially on cold, damp nights.
Strange sounds, Mr. Randolph, rather like someone sniffling.
A ghost with a cold.
It sounds just like that. It does, sir.
We don't have time for this. We've got to find the grant. And until we do, I don't want anyone to think about anything but the grant. Now, are the three of you sufficiently recovered to continue searching? Me.
I'm all right.
Mrs. Jessel?
I'm fine, Mom.
I think I feel much better, too.
I shouldn't wonder. You didn't make much progress around here, did you? What's this? This wasn't here before. How'd it get here?
Another clue? Well, I'm not going outside again. I ran my last pair of stockings tramping around out there for your last clue.
It looks like a blueprint of the house. From the double wine cellars under here up to the widow's walk.
I don't remember seeing it in here before.
Well, this is interesting. The walls, they're drawn in uneven thicknesses, like they have hallways.
Maybe the draftsman's ruler was broken.
No, the differences are intentional. Here and here. They meet at 90-degree angles and form little pockets.
With little rooms. Secret rooms behind the paneling? This is where I start my own search. Alone? No. I'll take Mrs. Jessel with me.
Oh, I would prefer to search somewhere else away from the books, if you don't mind.
Splitting up's a good idea. Barbara, see what you can find in the kitchen.
And keep Mrs. Jessel with you?
Oh, I wouldn't be too far behind, madam. You can count on that.
I'm glad to hear that. Aren't you, Barbara?
Brilliant.
Come on, Mrs. Jessel, shake a leg. Don't lose sight of you. In her quick eye.
I wonder how it got here. I didn't see this before.
There's something else that's just appeared.
What?
That.
So what? A lot of kids have it.
What Kids? Sanders?
Children? Certainly not. Mr. Randolph had an adversity toward them. Too undisciplined. Fingerprints on the walls, mud in the hallways. No, no children here.
Well, it got here somehow.
Well, there was a cousin, I think, who visited. He was a teenager, but he didn't stay the entire day.
There, that's it. It's his. End of mystery.
But that was 20 years ago.
And it just turned up today? Don't you call that odd?
Do you think it's another clue?
Oh, I doubt it, sir. I don't remember a mystery story with a skateboard in it.
Tell me, Sanders, when was the last time you saw this blueprint? Was that 20 years ago?
Oh, no, sir. Much longer than that. Years and years ago.
Try and be a bit more specific.
Well, I'll try, sir. It was at the reading of a will in the 1920s. Oh, now that's odd, isn't it, sir? I mean, it reappearing after all these years and at the same kind of gathering.
What do you remember about that will reading?
Well, now, that was when poor Richard Randolph was at the estate. Dickie, they called him. Mr. Randolph met his end right here in this room.
He died in here?
His brother murdered him for the inheritance.
What happened to the brother?
I'm afraid he didn't fare all that well either, sir. His wife killed him for the money.
He died here?
Oh, no, in the hallway, actually.
The money. Did they ever find the money?
Well, I thought you knew, sir. No one's ever found the money. Not since it was first hidden 90 years ago.
And the land grant. Was that hidden 90 years ago, too?
Oh, no, sir. That was lost 90 years ago. But when Edwin Randolph found it, he thought hiding it would add to the odds. He was very proud of the idea.
He didn't, I suppose, by any chance, while the two of you were chatting, just happened to tell you where he'd hidden the land grant?
Oh, I'm afraid not. Gesundheit.
Sanders, no one sneezed.
Well, something did, sir. And it doesn't hurt to give the benefit of the doubt.
I would say, from what I've seen so far, Sanders has a good idea.
We're losing time.
Me, back to those books. Sanders, you go.
Maybe you should make some coffee for all of us, and yourself too.
Yes, I think that might be better.
Me? Have we gone through this pile of books yet? Me? That's odd.
What?
Me. He was just standing there, and now he's gone.
Maybe he followed Sanders down in the kitchen to keep an eye on him. Sanders really wasn't all that steady.
I guess you're right. Still, I didn't hear him leave.
Maybe he has rubber soles. Now, let's get on with this. According to this blueprint, there's multiple cellars under this house. 6, it looks like. Are you listening to me?
Huh? Yeah, it's just...
Leave it, will you? If we don't find the grant, we're going to spend the rest of our lives checking phone booths for loose change and mugging Hare Krishnas on Hollywood Boulevard for lunch money.
We could get jobs.
I'm not giving up that easy. I want that $20 million. I deserve it.
We deserve it.
Well, then we'd better do something about it, because if my wife gets her hands on that, you can kiss those polo ponies of yours goodbye. So long, Bel Air house. Hello, furnished Studio City apartment.
She wouldn't cut us off.
How to look goodbye.
We'll fight her in court. We're the blood relatives.
It'd be a moot point if she gets it first. She'd be on the next flight to Switzerland before we could get a court date.
But the land grant?
Sell it if I were her as fast as I can.
Can she do it?
With proof of ownership, she can sell everything, and there's nothing we can do.
Not exactly.
You'll never get away with it.
We, dear brother, we.
I never counted on murder.
You want your share of the money, and your share of the work.
What about the others? If we bump her off, stuff her in the trunk, they're sure to notice she's gone. I mean, when somebody disappears, somebody notices.
We'll make it look like an accident.
That just happened to happen while we were all looking for her 20 million.
Tough to buy.
Tough to buy.
How about a struggle? She tries to murder you for your share of the inheritance, and you defend yourself.
Bang, and the gun goes off.
What gun? You don't even own a gun. You don't even know how to shoot one. When we were kids, I'm the one who loaded the cap pistol.
Bang was just a figure of speech.
Well, then how are you going to do it?
We going to do it.
All right, then we. How are we going to do her in?
Push her off the roof.
With our luck, all she'll do is sprain an ankle.
Poison her.
In self-defense.
I guess not.
Hardly.
We could drive her crazy, like Charles Boyer did in Gaslight, then have her committed.
In 24 hours.
You come up with something better.
I will. Bump her over the head with this. One evenly placed hit should do it.
I can't just say, Farmer dear, would you be so kind as to stand right here and don't move so I can give you one evenly placed hit?
Then sneak up behind her and aim. You can do that, can't you?
I don't know, the situation never came up before.
It'll be easy. You'll see. Now I'll go to the kitchen and tell her you need her help with something and see Mrs. Jessel busy.
What about Sanders and me? I can't have them bounding in here just at the moment I give her that one evenly placed hit.
I'll keep them all in the kitchen.
How?
I don't know. Tell them the coffee's too strong, too weak, too something. But hurry, because I'm not going to be able to keep them in there forever.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this.
Have you ever tried to love a Hare Krishna? I don't think it's that easy.
Well, hurry up, before I lose my nerve. I thought you...
Whoa, moved. Here, then not. Kept going, kept knocking, got lost.
You got to get out of here.
Out! No, just got back.
You're supposed to be with Sanders.
Sanders. All moved. Here, then not. I saw, yes.
You're not making any sense.
Yes, I'm not.
You got to go to the kitchen now.
Kitchen? No, I've got to find Sanders.
Sanders is in the kitchen. Go to the kitchen, find Sanders.
Find Sanders, yes. I must find Sanders.
As fast as you can. Go to the kitchen and help with the coffee. Thank God he's gone. Now, where to stand? Yeah, here's the best angle. She'll open the door, and I'll...
Jason, where are you? What did you want me for? Jason, are you here? Oh, you can't go in. Jason, why are you standing with your arms in the air?
I was,
Why are you stuttering?
it's gone.
What's gone? What are you talking about?
The Poe is gone. I was looking for a copy of this poem that Bert was quoting, and it's gone.
Is that what you called me in here for?
Yes, dear.
You know, if you keep on like this, you're going to turn into a nutcase just like your uncle.
Oh.
place to leave notes saying someone had already searched there. That's at least 5 rooms they won't have to go through, thanks to poor old Nikki. He spent so much time in them and never found a cent. They're running around here so fast they don't know where they've been, let alone where anyone else is.
Where is she? Where is she? Can't be that hard to murder your wife. Okay. I'll buy the houses haunted. I'll accept the floating books, the flying chessboard, the pokers that disappear. But there's got to be some way to bump her off without the damn ghost interfering. The old Hitchcock stories, they had good murders. Frozen leg of lamb. Now, take too long to freeze. The chicken feed. Chopped up his wife and fed her to the chickens. No chickens. The rug. The rug by the fireplace bit. All I have to do is get her to stand in front of the fireplace and pull it out from underneath her. Barbara, can you come in here?
What do you want, Jason?
I need to see you for a minute.
I'm searching his gun for it. Can't it wait until I'm finished?
I need to see you now.
All right, I'm coming.
Where does it sit? Here. That chair.
What is so important that it couldn't wait?
I need you to take a look at this blueprint.
Oh, I've seen the blueprint.
I found something new.
Jason.
You haven't seen this section.
All right, you think it's important, but if we don't all pitch in into our share, we'll never get this place searched by the sunup. I'm looking at the blueprint. What am I looking at?
Stand a little bit more to the right.
I can see from here.
You'd see better if you could stand in front of the fireplace.
Jason, this is silly.
Do it for me, please.
All right, but there better be some logical reason for this.
There is. Believe me, there is.
What is it that you want to show me? Jason? Jason? Well, what are you doing down there?
Trapdoor?
What?
Trapdoor. I was looking for a trapdoor. All good mysteries have them.
Under a stone heart?
Possible.
Jason, listen to me. You're starting to go over the edge. You're losing the one last ore you still have in the water. Try and be useful. Find something. The grant. If nothing else, find me and the standard. But in the meantime, I am going back to the sun first. I want you to try and remember what I'm going to say next. Do not call me in here again. Do you understand?
Yes, dear.
Good.
You don't understand. It worked before.
Jason, can you help me with something?
Kaya, I gotta talk to you.
Okay, fine. But come here and help me first.
This isn't working. This isn't working at all.
Oh, I was looking for Mrs. Randolph.
Thank you.
never knew that panel was there. How'd he find it?
Quick, the singing's fading. If you don't get it now, it could be days before he surfaces again.
Oh, Mr. Mead, where in the world have you been? I think they've been searching all over for you. Well, when they haven't been looking for the land grant or the money, they've been looking for you.
I've been behind the paneling. Do you believe that?
Oh, yeah.
You? Thank goodness. I was beginning to doubt it myself.
Is that where Sanders is, too?
How did you know?
Ah, there's all kinds of people back there. I mean, they come out, they take my coffee, then they go back in again, and books float around, and I need another drink.
You shouldn't drink so much.
But if I don't, will the panel stop turning, and will the book stop floating?
I doubt it.
Well, then I'm going to have another drink. Oh, I forgot. There's no more scotch. I dumped it all in the coffee pot. Aha! I'll just have some of this one.
Not that bottle at the club.
Hey, look! Now the wine! The wine's floating!
You mean you see it too?
Of course I do! And panels turning, and disappearing coffee cups, and every once in a while, kind of a sneeze. It's odd, don't you think, Mr. Mead?
Do you think it's a trick to put us off the money?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Or not, the case may be.
Mr. Mead, what would you say to our teaming up?
Mrs. Jessel.
Oh, for the search, Mr. Mead, just for the search.
Oh, yes, of course. The search. What do you mean?
50-50, what? 60-40, I'll not give up another penny.
Sort of a finder's fee.
I thought you'd understand. Of course, if there weren't so many relatives, there'd be a lot more money for the finder's fee.
What are you saying?
I don't think I could be much clearer.
Murder?
Oh, no, not that. I couldn't do that. Disappearance. Now that I could do.
To where?
Oh, behind the paneling. Everything seems to end up behind there, and eventually it comes back again. So, when they got back, we'd be gone.
This won't do it all.
You can't be serious.
I'm deadly serious.
There are far too many people back there now. At least one too many. Finally.
What was that? Oh, I suppose it's just another ghost. I've gotten used to them now.
That's odd.
What's that?
I thought I recognized that voice.
Well, it's probably Edward Randolph. He's no doubt back there, too.
No, he never sang. Not Edwin Randolph. An odd sort of a humming sound occasionally, but that'd be about it.
Oh, so you're with me?
Sorry?
The family, pushing some of them behind the paneling.
Oh, yes, of course.
Then you will.
Will what?
Do that!
Oh, no.
No!
No.
Oh!
What if I did? Which one would we push?
Ha! Madam, definitely. That is if we only get a chance to push one. Then maybe we'd have a go at Mr. Randolph.
Logical.
This is neither legal nor moral.
Well, a lot easier than maybe knocking them over the head with a foot. Huh. That's strange. The poker's not there.
We might get caught.
And we never find them all the time. Not if it's taken 6 hours just to get the butler. Mrs. Jessel!
Oh, you think about it now.
Mrs. Jessel, Mr. Randolph, and I need you.
Be right there, Miss Kaya. I'll be back.
You're dappling.
Not without considerable effort. I didn't realize a 72-year-old man had that much stamina.
We have a new problem.
I'm too tired. Here.
Judith, couldn't you give us a chance to catch our breath?
Sanders, are you all right?
42 bottles of beer on the wall. 42. No, wait. I did that one. Let me see. 13? 14? No. I got it. I'll just start over again. Yes. 99 bottles of beer on the wall. 99 bottles of...
Oh, thank goodness. I couldn't have stood another verse.
You need some coffee. I'll get some black coffee. I know where Mrs. Jessel keeps the pot. Don't move.
He won't. I guarantee that. We have a problem.
What else has gone wrong?
The lawyer and the housekeeper are going to shove Jason and his wife behind the paneling.
Not a bad idea. Well, it's much more creative than what our housekeeper tried to do to us. Anyone knows you smell almonds when you poison someone with arsenic.
The point isn't how creative they are in killing each other off, and how long we can keep them doing it.
I don't have the energy, dear. I really don't.
Send me back to the jail. The long, cold corridors, the hot cell.
You both try to remember why we're here.
You weren't running the marathon back there, dear. Have a heart and let us catch our breath.
We don't have time.
I'll go get the crowbar, Miss Kaya.
I can run all over you, Mrs. Jessel.
I'll be back in a minute, Mr. Mead. I have to get the crowbar first.
Oh!
It's for the packing crate.
Yes, of course. I'll wait for you in the study.
Quick, they're coming back.
Get up, Cece.
Can't. No. Not even my little finger. Look, even that's gone numb.
Cece, if I can conjure you here from the jail, I can conjure you to Nome, Alaska. In the middle of the winter, in a blizzard, with wolves surrounding you.
Look, I have the feeling back in my finger.
I thought it might come back.
Everyone who has ever looked for it thinks it's buried in the cellar. Same was the point of the blue Edwin left. It had nothing to do with trees. He was trying to tell them hunt. And so under. It's in the cellar, I'm sure of it. I'm afraid my clue didn't work either.
It's not your fault, dear. They probably just didn't know the story. Not everyone is a Poe fan like we are.
Thank you, dear.
Amontillado, a very good clue.
Come on, Sanders, snap out of
Mr. Meade, what happened to me?
it. They got you.
They?
Them, behind the paneling.
Oh, yes. There are a lot of them back there. Oh, my head. What happened to my head, Mr.
Gotch.
Oh, I'm terribly embarrassed. I've never known my use of service.
Sanders, that's all right. We're all a little off center today. Here, drink some coffee. It'll sober you up.
Why don't we just drag them downstairs and push them into the cellars?
That was enough to scare them to death. Have you forgotten the object is to keep them alive?
Well, at the rate they're going, that isn't going to be easy.
I'm afraid we'll never get out of here.
Are you both giving up? Then we have no other choice than to find it for them.
In 6 hours, when no one's found it in 90 years?
The last time we tried, we were just like them, at each other's throats. But if we all work together, all of us, we'll mobilize everyone.
Some of them haven't moved a muscle since they died.
But what about the 6 of them? It'd be a waste of time if we showed up with the 20 million and they'd already bumped each other off.
We'll have to give them a reason to stay in one room.
Take out the sharp objects first.
I've got it. We'll make them think it's hidden in here.
They spent 10 hours finding out it's not.
We'll have to convince them they're wrong.
They've taken the books down, put them back up again, ripped up the rug, pulled the stuffing out of the chairs. Why, they even tore up the lining of the birdcage. What else is there to do in here?
We'll have them take apart the fireplace.
Why in the world would they want to do that?
Because that's where it's hidden.
Is it?
No, but they don't know that.
Well, how are we going to convince them? It isn't an idea that exactly jumps to mind all by itself.
We'll give them something to find, like 3 $20 gold pieces.
But you can't just put them on the mantelpiece with a note saying, "This way to the buried treasure."
But Uncle Edwin can.
He's dead.
So are we. We can still manage a thing or two, like a long-lost
happening again?
What was that, sir?
Nothing, Sanders. Just talking to myself.
I know how that is, sir.
Drink your coffee.
Very good, sir.
How fast can you write that diary?
I only need one page. I'll make it look like it's a new one that Uncle Edwin started the day he died.
Coincidentally.
We only have time for coincidences.
Here it is, dear.
These two were settled in for the duration.
According to this, they pushed in the entire third floor, 4 rooms on the second floor, and various assorted closets here and there. We should put them just about here, front porch and adjoining closet.
But where are the crates they're crowbarring open?
Here, in the canning cupboard, just to the left of the sun porch. Which means that section for your dill pickles and peach preserves.
Is there any chance it's there? We wouldn't want to keep them from finding.
Mr. Mean!
Here comes the house. So there's one left we'll have to find. Usually you keep writing while Stacy and I get the other screens here.
Mr. Mean? Oh, there you are. Oh, good. You found it. Sanders, you look terrible. What on earth happened to you?
To be completely honest, Miss Jessel, I don't think you'd believe one word of it.
Don't bet on. What happened to him?
He's been seeing things.
I believe it. Mr. Mead. Mr. Mead, can you hear me?
Oh, Mrs. Jessup, I've been looking for you. We have to talk about...
Oh, it's all right. We're going to need him. What are you going to use that for?
I thought it might persuade Mrs. Randolph to get behind the paneling.
Huh. Sanders, would you like to live on $60,000 a year or $1 million now?
Exactly what did you have in mind?
That's what I mean.
Mr. Mead, I see that you decided to join us.
Yes, I've been behind the tool shed looking for,
What on earth for? Mr. Mead, where have you been? We've been out there struggling with the Titan places. Good heavens, Sanders, you're back too? Were you also behind the tool shed?
I was,
Never mind that. We're all here now, and we're not all here. Well, where's Jason? He was here a minute ago, looking for trapdoors. What? Never mind. He's probably searching behind the paneling for secret rooms.
that's possible.
Jason, where have you been?
You're not going to believe what I found.
Probably not.
I was going through the hall closet, and this diary fell off the shelf.
All by itself?
As a matter of fact, it did. Hit me right on the head.
I thought so. Who's it?
Uncle's.
And now we have another clue. Jason, when all this is over, you should really seek help.
I'm sure of this.
Your last clue cost me a pair of Christian Dior stockings. It can't hurt to look at it unless you have a better idea. Not one that would make any more sense.
Looks as if he wrote it the day he died.
November 16th, 1988. I've hidden the grant where they'll never find it, and now I'm having second thoughts. Oh, great. I don't care if they find the money or not, but if they don't find the grant, I can't read the next part. Then it says, I shouldn't have hidden the grant. They'll never find it. The stonemason did too good a job putting the stones back in the fireplace. The fireplace? He walled up behind the fireplace. Well, don't just stand there. Help me. We'll get the tools from the chest.
There are hammers in the kitchen closet.
There's a file on the sun porch we can use as a wedge.
It has to be in the fireplace. He wouldn't have put it in old shoe boxes. There's nothing mysterious about old shoe boxes. Walling it up in a fireplace. Now that's mysterious. It's so Price, so Poe, so perfect. He knew we'd spend the 24 hours tearing the place apart, not hunting one spot. And that's what makes it the only place he could have hidden it.
Jason, dear,
What?
why is she still alive?
Who?
My My sister-in-law, your wife, the one we agreed to murder, remember?
I tried. I really did. But murdering someone around this house isn't the easiest thing to do.
There's still time.
In front of the others?
Somehow, I don't think they'd mind.
Will these do, sir?
Yeah, they're good.
Oh, we got them. Here it is.
Okay, let's get started.
Wait,
What for?
have you ever torn down fireplace?
Of course not.
Neither has anyone else. And it seems like a lot of time and work spent in something we're not certain is the hiding place.
I am. Let's get started.
All we have to go on is a page in a diary, and we're ready to give up our last few hours. I want more proof.
It has to be here. I refuse to believe anyone would hide $20 million in old shoeboxes, no matter how nuts they were.
Miss Kaya is right, I'm afraid. And I really don't think we should. Those stones are very big.
Oh my goodness! Look!
What is it?
They're $20 gold pieces.
Where did they come from?
Oh my God, it's the money.
Hold it! The whole thing could come down on top of us. We've got to take the stones out carefully.
And quickly.
We'll start with the ones where I found the coins and work our way out to the sides. Meade, hold this here while I loosen this section and Sanders digs out the mortar. Okay. Kaya, you and Barbara start on the stones to the right. Mrs. Jessel, take this hammer, work on the stones to the left.
Oh, it's a big rock.
Nikki, you take Cynthia and Arnold down to the first cellar. Philip, you and Sissy take the second. Harold, you take the third. Rich Leakey and Smithers take the fourth. Donald and Frank the fifth. And Hortense and I'll take the sixth. Everyone else, fan out!
It's 7:45 a.m. We have
Oh,
exactly...
for Christ's sake, Meade, we know what time it is. There's known every 15 minutes what time it is, thanks to your digital watch and its damn chimes.
It has to be behind the fireplace because our uncle would never hide in shoeboxes.
I still think I was right.
Jason, dear, we left no stone unturned.
It has to be here. He wrote it down.
Give up. We lost.
Not without a fight.
We still got 15 minutes left.
14.
Not giving up that easily.
Good. Then you keep banging away at it.
You can't just sit there.
I have blisters on top of calluses on parts of me that no longer move. I don't think I can move anymore either. In fact, I'm pretty sure.
Sanders?
I think Mr. Randolph would have wanted me to die in peace. So if you don't mind, I'll just stay lying on the floor.
Well, I'm using the last, how many minutes, Meade? 12 minutes to find it myself.
Good, dear. Best of luck.
Oh, they're starting again.
Oh my God! Look! Then what do I have?
That's the inheritance they all murdered each other for 90 years ago.
Well, what's all this?
Edwin Randolph's stock portfolio and his 20 million.
You mean there are two inheritances?
Sanders, how much was the first one worth?
In its day, 20 million in mint condition.
Probably more now. Maybe 60 million at auction.
That's $10 million